The worrying trend of cases going up every single day continues. As per the Health Ministry, here are the latest numbers in the country. The confirmed cases of coronavirus stands at 2,76,583. The death toll nationwide is 7,745. Let's take you through the worst affected states also. Maharashtra has the most number of cases with 90,787 confirmed cases. The death toll at 3,289. Over to Tamil Nadu, where the number of cases, confirmed cases, stands at 34,914 and 307 deaths have been reported so far in Tamil Nadu. And Delhi is the third worst affected state in the country with 31,309 cases and 905 deaths. Those are the latest figures as of 6:30 this morning. And keeping our focus first on the national capital and the COVID crisis in Delhi, it's only worsening at this point. 1,501 cases have been reported in Delhi in the last 24 hours. And the capital has in fact recorded its biggest spike in COVID deaths. 28 deaths have in fact been reported in the last 24 hours alone in the capital. Delhi Chief Minister and Home Minister Amit Shah also are expected to discuss the COVID situation in Delhi. Kejriwal tweeted that the Home Minister is assured of all cooperation. Meanwhile, in an order, the Delhi LG has asked hospitals to put up LED screens that will display the number of beds, rates, as well as contact details of these hospitals. And well, when cases started to rise in Mumbai's Dharavi, there was a big alarm that if COVID-19 spreads in Asia's biggest slum, then the situation, of course, would be completely unmanageable. Cases may have finally begun to subside now in Dharavi. And in the national capital, there is a similar concern with positive cases now being found in slums and also in informal settlements. Here's a ground report by Sushant Mehra, who reports from the slums of Delhi.
Slums, the underbelly of urban India. Densely populated and poorly serviced slums of Delhi, where people live cheek by jowl, are emerging as a big concern as number of COVID-19 cases arise in the capital. For slum dwellers living in these congested, overcrowded slums, like this one called Sudhar Camp in South Delhi's Kalkaji, following social distancing and other hygiene measures to combat the coronavirus is next to impossible.
इस सुधार कैंप में कोरोना पॉजिटिव लोग हैं जिनको गवर्नमेंट ने यहाँ पे होम क्वारंटाइन के लिए डाल दिया है। हमारी गवर्नमेंट से सिर्फ यही रिक्वेस्ट है कि यहाँ पे होम क्वारंटाइन नहीं चल सकता। यहाँ पे 7,000 लोग रहते हैं और 2 कॉमन बाथरूम हैं। तो सर हम यहाँ पे होम क्वारंटाइन कैसे किया जाए?
The most worrying concern is sanitation. Hundreds of people are forced to share a few toilets available.
नहीं देखा उन्होंने एक बार भी कि होम क्वारंटाइन केजरीवाल जी के आदेश अनुसार कैसे हो सकता है। आप आके देखिए 2x2 की झुग्गी में 4-4 लोग रहते हैं। कॉमन बाथरूम है जिसमें ठीक से साफ सफाई की व्यवस्था ही नहीं है। अब कैसे हम लोग होम क्वारंटाइन होंगे और कैसे हमारा बचाव होगा?
Safeda Juggi in Geeta Colony is a containment zone. But apart from a police barricade, the locals allege nothing else has been done. And that lockdown curbs eased, it's back to business. But the fear of infection is palpable.
6 लेडीज शौचालय है और 6 जेंट्स है, तो ये 12 सीट है दोनों मिला के और 10 से 15 हजार की आबादी है हमारी बस्ती की। एक जब इनको सील तो कर दिया गया, लेकिन ना इनको कोई डॉक्टर देखने के लिए आता है, ना उनके लिए सरकार की तरफ से कोई व्यवस्था है, ना लोगों पे कोई प्रतिबंध है, कोई गाइडेंस देने वाला नहीं है, कोई बताने वाला नहीं है।
While the governments have issued various advisories to fight COVID-19, most of these are based on ideal scenarios of managing the crisis. With the number rising in Delhi, the administration will have to devise a strategy for congested colonies like these as well. With Sushant Mehra in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
News coming in from the national capital of the Resident Doctor Association of Hindu Rao Hospital in Delhi, writing a letter to the medical superintendent of the hospital in which they've cited non-payment of salary for the last 4 months. They've decided to go on a no pay, no work protest and also have threatened that if the salary payment isn't done by 18th June, that's 7 days from now, then they will resign. Hindu Rao Hospital is run by MCD North, and so there will be questions about why exactly resident doctors haven't been paid at a time when they're working overtime to battle coronavirus as well. They're stating that they haven't been given their salaries, their dues for the last 4 months now, and have now issued a deadline to the government saying that if their money is not given to them by 18th June, that's 7 days from now, they will go ahead and resign. This is a hospital which is run by the MCD North. So there will be questions of the authorities in the MCD as to why the Hindu Rao Hospital doctors haven't been getting their salaries. Kumar Kunal is joining us with more details on this. Kumar, have the MCD authorities taken note of these doctors' plight and their protest?
See, they have written the letter just now, and in all probability, the MCD authorities will look into these demands. But as of now, what is happening that MCD, which is being run by BJP, are facing fund crisis during the COVID times. They are alleging that Delhi government, which is being run by Aam Aadmi Party, is not providing them the fund, and hence even the COVID workers, or you can say COVID warriors, can't be paid salary on time, which is exactly the case of Hindu Rao Hospital resident doctors. And hence they are not being paid the salary since March, and now they have no other option but to write a letter to their medical superintendent threatening that they will go for mass resignation if the salary won't be paid by 18th of June.
All right, Kumar, we'll continue tracking this very, very closely for the moment. Thank you for joining us. Over to the state of Maharashtra, which is unfortunately touching new highs when it comes to COVID numbers. The state has recorded the biggest single-day jump in both COVID cases as well as deaths. 3,254 new cases and 149 fresh deaths were recorded in the state on Wednesday. With this, the total cases in Maharashtra have crossed the 90,000 mark. Mumbai, the worst-hit city in the state and the country, saw the biggest rise in COVID deaths. The city registered 97 new deaths and 1,567 new cases on Wednesday. The state has so far tested nearly 6 lakh people for COVID-19. So the Delhi government has said that the capital is likely to see a huge jump in COVID cases by mid-July next month. Well, going by figures, Mumbai has 20,000 more cases and over twice as many deaths as Delhi. But if the Delhi government's projection is to be believed, the capital will see more than 1.3 lakh COVID cases till June 15. That surpasses Mumbai, which is currently the worst affected city.
Mumbai and Delhi, India's biggest metros, also the worst affected by coronavirus pandemic. With over 44,000 active cases, the maximum city has the most number of COVID patients as of now. But the rapid increase in COVID cases in Delhi has raised concerns whether the city is set to be the next COVID capital. According to projections, Delhi could have 1.34 lakh cases by July 7th, while Mumbai will have 1.18 lakh cases. The Delhi government is already ringing the alarm bells. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has echoed his deputy Manish Sisodia's projections and has appealed for unity.
हमें आपस में नहीं लड़ना, हमें इस टाइम एकजुट होना है, हमें एक देश बनना है। जब तक सारे मिलके नहीं लड़ेंगे, बीजेपी, कांग्रेस, आम आदमी पार्टी, ये पार्टी, वो पार्टी, डॉक्टर्स, नर्सेज, पुलिस, तब तक हम कोरोना को नहीं जिता पाएंगे। आप सोच भी नहीं सकते कितनी बड़ी विपदा है ये।
The Delhi government expects it will need nearly 80,000 beds by July end. And to meet the Herculean challenge, Delhi is doing what Mumbai has done. It is converting several stadiums and hotels as COVID care centers.
15 जुलाई को दिल्ली में 33,000 बेड्स की जरूरत पड़ेगी दिल्ली वालों के लिए। 31 जुलाई को 80,000 बेड्स की जरूरत पड़ेगी। दिल्ली के अस्पतालों में 50% लोग दिल्ली के बाहर से आके इलाज कराते हैं। सारे मिला के बाहर वाले भी अगर मिलाएंगे तो 65,000 बेड्स की जरूरत पड़ेगी।
Delhi is already feeling the heat. Many are complaining of lack of beds, and the government is at odds with private hospitals and labs. And now with the unlocking, the capital city has a lot of catching up to do. Bureau Report, India Today.
Over to what's happening in the state of Tamil Nadu, the second worst affected by coronavirus in the country. It's recorded its biggest single-day spike in COVID cases. 1,927 new cases have been reported on Wednesday. The total number of cases in the state have now crossed the 34,900 mark, with in fact 19 deaths. The toll has risen now to 326. Chennai alone reported 1,390 new cases, which means that the total cases in the city is close to 26,000 now. In the wake of the rising cases, the Tamil Nadu government has announced recruitment of over 2,800 medical personnel, including over 1,200 doctors. The state government also plans to ramp up bed capacity in Chennai's government sector hospitals to 10,000 from the present, which is approximately 5,000. Let's also move on to some other stories that we're tracking this morning in what comes as a big success for India in the crackdown on fugitive PNB scam accused Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi. The Enforcement Directorate has brought back diamonds, pearls and jewellery worth 1,350 crore rupees from Hong Kong belonging to Nirav as well as Mehul Choksi. Now, the seizure of assets was in connection with a 13,000 crore rupees PNB bank scam case. As per the ED, 108 consignments of UAE and Hong Kong assets of Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi, weighing 2,340 kilos, were brought back to Mumbai. Nirav Modi is currently in London. His uncle is hiding in Antigua. Extradition proceedings against both the accused have been initiated by investigative agencies. Now, panic gripped Pakistan's Karachi city on Tuesday night following rumours of Indian Air Force fighters actually crossing the LOC. With the blackout in Karachi and also growing fear, many took to Twitter to talk about what they thought was actually a repeat of the Balakot airstrikes carried out by the IAF last year.
Karachi went dark. The Pakistan army got into a huddle and warplanes scrambled minutes after reports that a fighter aircraft was sighted over the port city's airspace. Rumours of a Balakot-type airstrike by the Indian Air Force set Twitter abuzz, setting off fear and confusion. Only that there was no Indian Air Force jet in Pakistani airspace. In the early hours of 26 February last year, Indian fighters swept deep into Pakistani territory and dropped bombs on terrorist camps in Balakot in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. The Balakot strike showed the Indian Air Force's capabilities and intent, even as it exposed Pakistan's weak air defense systems, something that continues to unsettle the country.
दो पायलट्स जमीन पे जो हमारी फोर्सेस मौजूद थी उन्होंने उनको अपनी अरेस्ट में लिया और जैसे उनके साथ एक महज़ब मुल्क सलूक करता है उसके मुताबिक उनके साथ सलूक किया। एक उनमें से जख्मी थे, उनको हमने CMH मुंतकिल कर दिया है। इंशाल्लाह उनका पूरा ख्याल रखा जाएगा, जबकि दूसरे जो हैं वो हमारे पास हैं।
Prime Minister Modi said the Balakot strike had sent a strong message to Pakistan that India was not going to be a passive observer to terrorism.
आज जो ये वातावरण बना है, मैं यही कहूंगा कि ये डर अच्छा है। जब दुश्मन में भारत के पराक्रम का डर हो तो ये डर अच्छा है।
The Indian Air Force chief too had warned that acts of terror emanating from Pakistan would face retaliatory action, as was done in Balakot.
जब तक वो आतंकवादी गतिविधियों का साथ देना बंद नहीं करते, तब तक उनको इस बात की चिंता करनी पड़ेगी कि हमारे एरिया में कोई भी टेररिस्ट एक्ट होता है तो उसका कुछ न कुछ जवाब होगा। कैंप्स को हमारी आर्मी एंड सारी एजेंसीज क्लोजली मॉनिटर करती हैं, हमें पता है वहाँ क्या हो रहा है, एंड जब कोई जरूरत पड़ी उस पर कुछ फॉलो अप एक्शन लेने की तो समय पे लिया जाएगा।
Balakot continues to haunt Pakistan, and the chaos that prevailed in Karachi on Tuesday night was evidence of that.
Pakistan has employed its early warning radar system for the ongoing exercise. Pakistan Air Force is also practicing against the possible nighttime attack like the one which happened in Balakot, operation by Indian Air Force. This is Majid Negi for India Today.
Welcome back. Well, the International Cricket Council has once again failed to arrive at a conclusion with regards to this year's T20 World Cup, which in all probability will be postponed. After a marathon meeting on Wednesday, the ICC deferred the decision on the T20 World Cup until next month. Australia is scheduled to host the tournament on October-November this year, but under the current circumstances, that's looking increasingly difficult. Cricket Australia had earlier written to the ICC requesting the world body to allow them to host the tournament next year, while moving the T20 World Cup that India is scheduled to host in 2021 to 2022. ICC said it is still exploring contingency plans for the T20 World Cup, although it maintained that the world body is still hopeful of staging the tournament as scheduled.
Fantastic evening here at Eden Gardens in Kolkata.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.